Hello boys and girls. So today we're going to be looking at place value of numbers. Now this is one that we've done since the beginning of the school year, so it is a review, but I want to make sure that you completely understand the depth of the standard. But first let's review the different forms of a number. So if I have a number, 387, what form did I just write that number in? Right, it's standard form. Just like a number is normally written, that's what we call standard form. Okay, now how would I write that in word form? Yep, so you have 387. So we have standard form, word form. We have expanded form next. Yep, exactly. So you have 300 plus 80 plus 7. Remember, you're just breaking this apart into each place value. This is our ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, remember this is just a review. You all should remember this. And then we have base 10 form. So this is where you draw your base 10 blocks. How many hundreds do I have? 1, 2, 3. How many tens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many ones? 5, 7. Those are your 4 different forms that you can write a number in. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is take this number in word form and write it in standard form. How would you go about doing that? Make sure you pay attention to each place value. 36,042. So I have my comma right here. That means everything on this side has to be before my comma. 36,000. 36,000. And then we have 42. How would you write that 42? If I just write 42, is that a number? No, because you have to have 3 places before the comma. Do I have any hundreds? I don't, do I? So what would I put in this spot if I don't have any hundreds? Correct, a 0. Good job. Let me ask you a different question. Suppose that you have only hundreds, tens, and 1 blocks when using base 10. What's a way that you could write 1,718 with base 10 blocks without having thousands? There's many different ways that you could do this. See how many you can come up with. Here's the one that I would come up with. I know that if I have 1,000, that means I have 10 hundreds. So I would write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I have 7 more hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I have 1 10. And I have 8 ones. 8. That's one way you could do it. Like I said, there's many different ways that you could do it. Now we're going to look at expanded form. So I'm going to give you a number. That looks just like this. It is 55,555. I've got every single place value with the 5. Now that's important. We're going to do 2 examples with this number, so make sure you have it written down on your paper. Okay? What I want you to do first is write this in expanded form. Can't write and talk at the same time. Okay, remember, expanded form is where you look at each place value separately. So if I start here, this is my 10,000s. So I have 50,000, or 5 10,000s. Here's my thousands. I have 5,000s. Here's my hundreds. 500, 5 10s. Oh, forgot my 0. And 5 1s. Now that we've written that in expanded form, here's the question I want to ask you. How does each 5 compare to the 5 that came before it? So how does this 5 in 50,000 compare to the 5 in 5,000? How does the 5 in 50 compare to the 5 in the 1s? If you pause this video and think about it, see what you can come up with. Once you've unpaused me, you should have thought that each one is 10 times more than the one before. So 5 times 10 is 50. Times 10 is 500. Times 10 is 5,000. And times 10 is 50,000. So each one is 10 times greater than the one to its right. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is look at a couple digits. We have a 1, a 5, a 2, a 9, and a 4. We've got 5 different digits here, and there are 2 things that I want you to do with these digits. I want you to make the greatest valued number you can and the least valued number that you can with these digits. So go ahead and pause the video right now and see if you can come up with the biggest number and the least number, the smallest number with those digits. Okay, so when you look at the greatest value, the first thing you should have done is pick out the biggest number, right? Let's just start with a 9. What's our next biggest number? 5, 4, 2, 1. And where does our comma go? You always count over 3 numbers. That's your greatest number that you can make with those digits. What about the least number? Well, if we started with the biggest number here, that means down here we have to start with the smallest number, 1. Then we have 2, 4, 5, 9, and our comma, always 3 over. Good job.